Is It Fun? The series where we review video games, mostly with shooters and racing games, and ultimately talk about it and let you know whether the game is fun or not. We're a small little channel, we're not paid by anyone, there's no sponsorships or anything like that. It's just, we're just playing the game and just telling you what our thoughts are. Today we are up with Painkiller. What is Painkiller? Well, it's a song by 3 Days Grace. Outside of that, it is a sort of a 3-player co-op shooter where you enter the purgatory or the depths of hell or the in-between, whichever way you want to go. And you just kill a bunch of demons with a bunch of guns in a FPS arena-like shooter, and that's probably the elevator pitch of the game. We'll obviously get into more detail than that during the review. That's the rough scope of it. This game is a reimagining of the 2004 Painkiller Black, I think is the most popular version of it. 2006 in my world, that's when it got ported over to the Xbox. It wasn't as good, I think, the port over to the Xbox as it was on PC. And the reason why I say reimagining is this game is nothing like that game. So if you have come to this review and you're a really big Painkiller fan from back in 2004, yeah, you're going to be disappointed. It's nothing like that game at all. That game was much more like, I would say, a Doom-like, whether that term exists, that arena shooter. You got a huge array of guns. Obviously, it had its own twist on it and did its own things, but, you know, that's probably the best way for anyone coming in that doesn't know the franchise. Doom-like, you kind of get a bit of an understanding of the game. But yeah, where this is much more different is that it's more about run-based. It's just getting a run in. There is some story elements to it, but you're just getting a run. You've only got 3 weapons when you go in. 2 of them are guns that you pick. And there's a huge range to pick from in the weapon category, but you can only go in with 2. You can upgrade them, you know, in between the fights when you go back to your main base, so you can make them much more powerful and do all sorts of crazy things. Otherwise, you're just limited to the 2. You don't have the big wheels that you have in Doom, which I would argue is a lot of the fun in these type of games. And so I would say that's the big difference. There are tarot cards that you can give yourself small boosts during a game, but, you know, they're not really that great. They're not really going to change too much. It does help you a little bit, but they're not ultimately going to rewrite the game for you or change anything dramatically. So what is the game like? Well, let's talk about what the game does well. I really like the weapons in the game. In the killing factor, sometimes it can be quite satisfying. Other times it can be quite dull. But I think, like, ultimately, once you get it going with the weapon upgrades and you kind of interlock with your whippersnipper / weed whacker, that is the spinning wheel of knives that's your melee weapon, you know, it can be quite fun in those circumstances. Outside of that, I didn't love this game very much. You know, I struggled with a lot of lag playing online, even when I was by myself. There is an offline version, but I think progression doesn't go across to that offline version, so that's a bit painful. And in Australia, I couldn't get a game. Even though there's Australian servers, it just seemed to be like, well, I was kind of just had these lag spikes during it. Even though I was streaming fine, everything else was going fine. I've since gone to it without streaming and still have the same problem in campaign, and it's pretty frustrating when you're just playing by yourself and there's just huge lag spikes. It isn't the reason why I don't like this game. Like, sometimes internet connections and servers on the first day can be a little bit janky, so I understand that, but I just wanted to flag that first day this game isn't amazing out of the box, especially if you're playing online, and it game mostly wants you to play online. So the campaign itself is very light in really any story. The only story you get is from the 3 characters that go into each mission. There are 4 characters in total to choose from, so I'm not sure why that this game is 3 only in co-op. Why not make it 4 if you've got 4 characters? It seems a little bit of an odd design choice, but to me, it's a very quick, twitchy game, twitch shooter, fast-paced arena shooter sort of style. It's much slower than Doom, but like, even though it does have these quick speed elements, I would say it's a lot more slower paced. There's a lot less you can do when traversing a kind of a stage. And pretty much every level you just kind of went to a spot, you either cleared out 3 waves of enemies, or you got, you know, a blood battery pretty much. Killed enough enemies around that blood battery and then plugged that blood battery in. That's probably the best way to describe it. And that is pretty much the entire campaign. There are 3 bosses at the end of the raids, so each of the 3 raids is like 3 biomes, it's just pretty much 9 levels, but at the end of every 3rd level, there's a boss. The boss fights can be pretty fun. The first time, once you've beaten the boss fight, it won't be fun anymore. You just know exactly what they're going to do. It's real easy to pick up. It's not like other games like Doom or anything where it's still like a bit sweaty or a bit of a symphony. You got to get everything right. You'll pick it up real quickly. So that's not really a problem at all. But ultimately, there isn't really much story here. The reason why I just say it's levels is because it's really just levels, this game. You just kind of go through them. The story is just kind of spoken out between the characters in between fights. The biggest problem with this is that they stop talking once a horde of demons come, and then that's it. You just miss out on that bit of the story. You're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't need to know what happens there. And then 10 minutes later, they'll start talking, and you just have no idea what they're talking about, because obviously it was a nugget that was meant to be dropped 10 minutes ago to you, but that's gone now. And yeah, there's just not much you can really do about that. And I think it's an odd way to kind of level out a story here. I don't mind characters having little tidbits and to move a story along, but because there's no real cutscenes or anything, it's just kind of been smashed in here as a story. So to me, it seems half-baked, and that is going to be a theme that goes throughout this review. There is a roguelike as well side of it as well. It really is a light version of a roguelike. Like, they're definitely going the light style of it. It's pretty much just 7 different missions where, you know, you might just, at the start, you take a choice of whether you want a gun upgrade. You pick your 2 guns at the start. That could be anything, but they won't have any upgrades to it, and none of the, you know, upgrades you've done back in the story missions will come into here. And then you can either get tarot cards, you can get some things like, you know, ammo, health or anything when you finish a level, or you can get weapon upgrades. And those are the sort of forks that you pick from while you're going through. I think you get treasures as well, which you can use to upgrade to then make the single player a bit easier. And yeah, the missions are pretty much the exact same as I've mentioned. If anything, probably a little bit more tedious. There's one where you've got to like move a soul canister like up this hill, and it's so painful and dumb. But outside of that, you just kind of go to a level, survive a bunch of waves, or fill up a blood battery, plug that in, and then that's it. That's the whole roguelike. At the end of it, you just get the currency stuff that you would have got anyway just from completing the single player, and all the missions or the raids or what they call them, and then you just upgrade your weapons from that way. But to say it's a roguelike isn't really there at all. Like, there's no loot, there's no gear that you get, there's no upgrades to make the next run easier. A failed run is just that, it's just a failed run. And even when you pass a run, all you get is like a little bit of gold and the other currency, which is like souls, I think, which is just used to upgrade the weapons back at base. There's no way to upgrade your characters themselves. All 4 characters seem really lackluster to me. Like, one of them just has slightly more ammo, and which you can just get from your weed whacker anyway. One does more damage, one recovers health quicker, and I think the other one recovers energy quicker, which is just how you sort of slide and do your special moves. No, slide is stamina, so it's how you do special moves on the weapons. And that's pretty much the game. It just seems really underbaked to me going through it. Like, outside of the issues that I was having with lag and everything, I find the traversing to be extremely difficult. So there's a hook system where you can hook onto skulls and kind of fly around. It's real hit and miss whether that works. I found wall jumping to be very hit and miss whether that worked. I'm playing this on the Xbox, so I don't know, you know, if it just hasn't ported over to consoles very well. The only reviews I've seen of this are 2 people that were sponsored by the developer to, you know, and they've obviously, you know, they have some negative notes, but they've, you know, given mostly a positive review, which I find pretty baffling. This game just doesn't seem complete, and for the amount of money that it cost, it was $70 Australian. I'll probably say it's about $50 US. For the amount that it costs, it just doesn't seem finished at all. Like, I just don't get why you would play this game, really. Like, I finished the campaign very, very quickly. It took me about 4 hours, I think, maybe 5. And the roguelike just seems to be pretty just much there, like as a last minute sort of extension, just to round out the game and maybe give you a bit more. And that's it. Like, that's the whole game. The ending of the campaign, and I won't spoil anything for you, is so just wet fart. Like, there's just nothing there. And you're just like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that then. And that's how I just felt this whole game. Like, I was really I was keen for this game going into it. Like, I've kind of built into a lot of the hype for the last few months, and I just thought, like, this game would be really good, especially when it had roguelike elements. And I was like, yeah, like roguelike, but in the, you know, the arena shooter world, that could be really fun, and, you know, you can move quite well. But arena shooters are only as fun as, like, the weapons and being able to traversing around and doing the parkour stuff, and obviously the gameplay loop. And this roguelite has 0 gameplay loop. Like, it's just like, do you want to play again for playing's sake is pretty much the loop. You don't get anything from it. There's no endorphin rush or dopamine hit. There is a score system, which I think feels like it was just a real add-on at the end to just be like, oh, we'll put numbers on the screen, they'll keep them happy. But this game just seems really underbaked to me. Like, it just, I don't know, like, I just think like a few more months would have done this game well, or maybe to try find a way to make it fun. Because I just think like right now it's just a game. Like maybe if it came out in 2006 around Left 4 Dead time, and you could play this with your friends and you could maul things, then maybe it would be fun just because you'd just be playing with your friends, and that was unheard of before that. But that's pretty much it, really. Like, there was nothing that grabbed me about this game at all, which is disappointing. This is now back-to-back games that I've kind of given a bit of a poor review for, but yeah, which we'd rather give better reviews or try to find a way for a game to be fun. Or the other thing is, when I have a negative experience with a game, I might say, like, I don't like it because of this. You might like it if you like these things. I think if you like any of these, like, co-op shooters, there's so many better out there. If you like arena shooters, there's so many better out there. If you like roguelike shooters, oh my god, Dead Zone would be where I would start there if you haven't played that yet. But there's so many better there. Like, it's just, there's no reason to jump into this game. It's not even like a medium version of it, of like, well, it'll kill a bit of time. Like, I just did not have fun playing this game at all. Like I said, the weapon stuff can be satisfying at times. The music's good. The music's good in the game. I forgot to mention the music. Outside of that, it doesn't really explain to you what's going on, so you kind of got to figure out some things to yourself, which I don't mind sometimes in gaming, but it just seems like in a game like this, it seems odd to make that choice. But I think it wasn't a choice. I just think, once again, it's been half-baked and they just haven't completed things. Yeah, I don't know. This game really just has like for me, it's just like a bunch of people that were sort of sitting around an office and they've convinced themselves this game is fun, but like no one, really just had like an outside set of eyes on it or something, and it sucks because like there's nothing tremendously broken with it. The service could be a bit better and traversing could be a lot better, but there's just not much game here, and the campaign's weak, the roguelike's very weak. And yeah, ultimately, I think we just got to say this game's not fun. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know who I'd recommend this to. Yeah, like I can't even say like there's easy achievements to get, because some of them are quite difficult. You have to complete the game on nightmare difficulty, and with some of the issues that the game has, that's going to be a nightmare to do. If you're an absolute Painkiller shill, then I don't think you're going to like this game. But obviously, if you're just it doesn't matter what they come out with, you're just so into this world, then you might want to pick it up. But like, there's no real story here, so I don't think it's really going to help you very much sort of get involved in the world. And that's why I say, like, I just don't get who this game is for. So yeah, it's just a shame. It's a shame. It's like, I wasn't hugely into the franchise. Like I said, I probably played the game for like a month, the first one when it came out, but it's just a shame. People love this game. It's had a real cult following, and it's fine that it's a reimagining. And if it was fully baked, I think it would be fine that it kind of made its own thing 20 years later, but it just half-baked to me. I feel like there's half a game here, and it probably should have, at some point, someone should have just pulled the chute. At one point, Arc Raiders was I think it was a PvE shooter or a PvP shooter, and they pulled the chute and said, this game isn't fun. Let's go back to the drawing board, and this game clearly needed to do that at some point. It just tries to do like 3 things at once, and does none of them well, and there's just no reason to play it. So yeah, bit of a scathing review. What else was good? The art style's quite good. I mean, the map design's shocking, sometimes shockingly linear. But the Gothic era style of things is good. One thing I will mention is in the roguelike thing, there's 2 missions in every roguelike, which is just like an obstacle course for no reason. And you lose health, so you've got to go as quick as you can. But because the traversing doesn't work perfectly, it's a nightmare. It's so crappy, and you just don't want to be doing that in a game like this. I don't know who was like, I know, an obstacle course. That would be great. Let's play Ninja Warrior during this. And then you have fights at the end of the obstacle course, but then you still got to keep going at it. I forgot about the obstacle courses in the roguelike. It pisses me off. That legitimately took me out of the game. Of like, who design-wise was like, let's put obstacle courses into arena shooter. You want to harness those abilities to make it fun and not like force people into this like monotonous thing. That was the worst part of the game by far. So yeah, it broke me. Anyway, that's the whole review. Sorry it's a bit negative. Anyone who worked on the game, I do apologize, like, because I know that you probably worked hard on it, but like ultimately, like, I just didn't love it, like, at all. This is probably one of the worst games I played this year, which says a lot. The gunplay is really tight. That's the one thing I will say, is like the gunplay is really tight. It's just everything around it isn't satisfying. So it really just lets the gunplay down. Like there's no payoff to anything, which I just don't understand. But if you did get this far in this review, hit the subscribe button. We're a very small channel, so that really does help us out. You have no idea. Comment down below anything to do with this game, or really games that are like this, or just really anything that you just thought bubbled up in you when watching this. We like to get a bit of back and forth with everyone, and like these reviews are just my brother and I, so who are we to saying what's good and what's not? So it's always good to get an outside opinion. Hit the like button as well, because that you have no idea, even just a few extra likes on a video, it shoots it out way far and wide, so get some more eyeballs on it. Anyway, I'm going to edit this up, cut this up, and get on out of here. My name is Brenton, this is RetalinLive.